Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Movie Pop, and today we're here to talk about It Chapter 2. Man, I want to jump right into expectations for this film, Lawrence. So, for me, I had no interest in seeing this movie at all. Sorry, not this movie. The first It, because you know me, I'm not like a horror film aficionado.
Uh-huh.
But I do have to commend them. The marketing for It Chapter 2 is absolutely fantastic. It totally had me engaged and wanting to watch It 1 so I could watch It 2.
Oh, you had actually seen the first one before now?
I saw it 2 days ago.
Oh. I saw the first one when it came out in theaters, and I actually liked it a lot. I wasn't expecting to like it. So I think because of liking the first one, I had high expectations for this one. Also, like you said, the trailer was pretty good. Their marketing was really good. So I think all in all, I've been pretty hyped for this one because there hasn't been anything really good lately. So I was like, yeah, finally, like something I'm looking forward to watch.
Gotcha. Yeah, you know, as far as me, for expectations concerned, I saw the first It. I wasn't particularly impressed with it. I know there's high critical praise, high audience praise. It's one of the highest grossing horror films ever, if not second highest grossing. So my expectations were rather high, and I thought it was a good film. It was damn good, but I wasn't like, oh man, this is like the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
No. So that being said, my expectations were rather high, as I said, because the marketing for the second movie is absolutely fantastic. So I came in with rather high expectations. So I think with that, we can start talking about the pros of this movie, yeah?
Yeah, let's dive right in.
Awesome. Okay. Cinematography. Obviously, this movie is fantastically shot. I thought really fantastic editing because they had some really amazing and really engaging set pieces that they just edited together seamlessly. Yeah. So I really appreciated that. The casting, obviously, fantastic casting.
Really good cast,
Pitch perfect, right? For me, obviously, like everyone else, it was Bill Hader was one of the standouts.
Yeah. He's like the comic
and
relief.
then I like that. Yeah, yeah, very good comic relief. I did really appreciate the cameo in the movie. How did you feel about that?
Which cameo?
You didn't notice it?
Oh, the guy in the shop?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I just forgot,
that cameo.
Yeah. I think the whole audience was like,
Yeah. That creepy face is pretty hard not to recognize. So.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. That's it for me, man. How about you?
So I think just like the first one, Pennywise kind of steals the show. I love. I can't think of the name of the actor, but he does such a good job. I think he really makes. I think having someone who's really good at playing the clown
Bill Skarsgård
is what makes these movies. So you know, just like the originals. Just like the original, I can't remember his name either, but he's really famous. I'm just terrible with names. Do you know what I'm talking about? The original It?
Right. The original It was Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, there you go. Yeah, so I think having a good clown, a good guy who can play that, it really helps, you know, bring it all together. So I go to watch Pennywise. So, and like you said, excellent cast, of course, just overall. The plot, I think, did you like the plot? Because I thought the plot was pretty good in terms of horror movies. I thought it had a good beginning, middle, and end. It was cohesive. It wasn't like, oh my god, I don't understand the ending. What's going on? I think it was pretty good. Like I thought it all flowed well.
Very interesting that you say that specifically. Yeah, I think the plot was fine, but I do have some points to take with it, and
I did too as well, but I think overall the major story was I think it made sense. But there's definitely a lot of things in the middle that you're just like, wait. But we'll get back to that. I thought overall it was a decent horror film because I feel like I don't even remember the last horror film I've seen that was like, oh, this is decent. Most of them are just like really boring, really generic, not really worth mentioning much, you know. But I like the way they kind of mix in. It's not like every scene's the same where like, oh, he goes and he kills somebody or, you know, something happens. It's kind of a mix of creepy scenes mixed with gore scenes mixed with, they kind of change it up a lot, which was, I think, really appreciated. I didn't feel like every scene was the same. You know, in a lot of these movies, it's easy to be like in the slasher movies. Oh, someone gets their head cut off. Oh, someone gets axed. Oh, it's like, you know, it's like the same thing every time. Obviously, it's not like that, but you know, this is kind of like, it was a lot of variety, which I appreciated. So do you want to move into some of those cons?
Okay, all right. So that, yeah, cons. Just to kind of piggyback off what we were speaking about in regards to the plot of the film. Cohesive plot. It was very well understood what was happening throughout the runtime of the film. However, I felt like it was kind of hampered by a very fragmented narrative, because you have these scenes intercut between multiple timelines, or I guess 2 specific timelines, when they're children and when they're adults.
Right.
And so to me, that seemed to be a little jarring, because it would jump back and forth between these 2 timelines so frequently. It really kind of disconnected me from being engaged or fully immersed in any one specific element of the film. That was one concern for me. I also found it to be very tonally ambiguous. So what I mean by that is that this is not a scary movie per se. Like, there were even the very few and far in between with like the jump scares as well. I think I only got one solid like spook out of a jump scare.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a lot of these scenes where you have all these horror elements happening were totally undercut by like a comedic joke, like right afterwards, you know? Or they weren't necessarily taking the situation so seriously. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I honestly found the movie more enjoyable. I found myself laughing more than I found myself freaked out.
Exactly.
There were scenes that were creepy, but like that's about it. There's some. I guess it's kind of some of the scenes that got to me. It's like more twisted and stuff, and that's really about it. Other than that, I think some of the scenes were just funny. I found funny. There's a lot of horror that I find that's just enjoyable, and for me, I react by just laughing because I think it's funny. Because there's some stuff that's just really funny. So that's just me. That's just how I take it. So I'm sure there's probably people that aren't like that, but yeah.
The last 2 things I found in terms of my cons were the CGI. The CGI for the monsters. Like, while the monsters in terms of their rendering was, I thought, imaginative and spooky, I totally did not buy them as being real characters in a scene. They totally seem like CGI, characters. And then lastly, I found myself constantly frustrated throughout the film because Pennywise would make these appearances and he'd be threatening to the adults, doing all kinds of weird crap, but never actually doing any harm to them. And I'm like, well, we opened with the first It, where Georgie literally gets his arm like just chomped on, without any like advance notice, and none of those things really tend to happen in this film. So I'm wondering, like, what is Pennywise's whole thought process here? Like, is he just trying to scare the children, or is he trying to actually like kill them?
Well, I think his whole plan is to control them through fear. That's kind of how Pennywise operates. That's how kind of the movie opens, where they're in the restaurant and they realize they're being controlled via the fear. Like, I think his end goal is to make you so scared that you basically become immobilized, like that guy, like he does in the house in the corner, where he's just kind of frozen in fear, and then he can just do whatever he wants to you or to other people. And I think that's his end goal. And these kids are so aware that fear is how he operates that they're kind of resistant to it, because they've been around Pennywise for so long. They understand how he works. So
I could take that point. That's pretty much it for me then for cons.
Okay. Yeah. I actually have a lot of cons. I thought the movie was great, but I have a lot of cons in terms of like just kind of nitpicking. There's these things that I didn't understand, and so I'll just dive right in. I thought that the murderous kid from the first one that is now in the penitentiary and then he escaped, I thought no relevance to the story at all. Don't really understand why he was even in there. He has like a couple scenes, but he doesn't do anything. Like, he tries to kill them and then he's dead. And it's like,
I thought that nigga died when he fell down the well. So when he came back, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I think I thought he did too. Like, I vaguely remember what happens in the first one, but then it shows him waking up and then going back, and then he gets arrested, and then he doesn't make sense. Like, why he's in the story. He doesn't. I thought maybe he would talk to Pennywise and be like, "Oh, if you do this for me, I will give you eternal." No, nothing. There's vague communication between Pennywise and him. Like, there's nothing. It's all just like assumed that they're in communication with each other, but it just doesn't make sense. So that kind of bothered me.
Right.
The movie is pretty long, but I feel like this is more of a warning because I didn't find it super overindulgent. It's not like they're trying to be like, oh, look how great and good our movie is, we're gonna make it super long. I didn't feel it was overindulgent, but just know what you're getting yourself into. This is almost a 3-hour movie. I think it's like 2 hours and 49 minutes or something. It's very long. I didn't find myself bored or anything, but I did find myself feeling like, wow, this movie's, I'm looking at the watch, I'm like, wow, I've been here a while. But I liked it. I enjoyed it overall. There were times in the movie where I was a little frustrated because I couldn't always tell or remember which adult in the beginning of the movie matched with which child. As the movie progresses, you kind of get a better idea because they start having these flashbacks, so you get to see the kids more, and then it goes back and forth, and then you kind of see it. But they don't really have a scene where they, like, by the end of the movie, at the very end of the movie, they show you like all the kids, and then they show you all the adults. But that would have been great in the beginning. Like, I couldn't match them perfectly. I don't know if you had the same problem, DJ, but it kind of bothered me a little. But like I said, as the movie progresses, you kind of get better. Like, it makes more sense. You kind of start to see more flashbacks of the adults, so you get an understanding of what kid they were. It's not super clear in the beginning. At least for me, it wasn't. I wish it had been a little bit more clear, because it doesn't sound like they really make any effort to remind you. So, and yeah, I feel like there were a couple scenes here and there that were kind of just unexplained. There's a scene where Pennywise is talking to the kid with the glasses when he's an adult, and he's like, "I know your secret." I don't know what he was talking about. Maybe it's something from the first one, but yeah, I by the end of the movie,
I thought that was about him being gay. I thought that was because he was hiding being a homosexual.
Could be, but yeah, like, they don't reference it. They don't talk about it again at all. He never mentions it again at all. So
they don't. Like, yeah, I was actually let down by that part because I was hoping maybe he was hiding something more sinister, akin to Mike, who, well, as we learn, is hiding something. In fact, with regards to the ritual. I was hoping something more than that.
Yeah, but it's like, whatever it is, it'd be great to get closure. Like, they just don't bring it up again. I don't know if it's like a scene that was axed or something. I don't know. It's just strange. Yeah, but that's all my cons. I feel like overall pretty good. These are not huge, like, movie destroying cons. There are a couple gripes that me and DJ had with the film, but I think overall it was pretty good. So with no further ado, you want to give our scores? Actually, before we do that, did you give the Rotten Tomato? Maybe we should post up the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah, you know what? Rotten Tomatoes. I did not give the Rotten Tomatoes score. So I don't have it offhand, but here it is. Right there. I think it's somewhere around 70% for audience and critics. I don't actually have it readily available, but
we'll have it up for you guys, just so you guys know. And yeah, go ahead. What's your score for the film?
Well, yeah, I want to preface it by kind of giving my summary for the film.
Sure.
And this is by no means a bad film. I will say it is an ambitious, often narratively jarring and tonally contradicting, lukewarm horror film with loud, stupid scares lacking subtlety. It's largely entertaining, albeit slightly and sporadically dragging at times. But however, I do find it to be a thoroughly entertaining film and absolutely ambitious in its endeavor. So with that, I think it's resting at a very well, I'd say 79%, which would equate to about, about 3 bags of popcorn?
Looking about like 4, I believe, yeah.
4 bags of popcorn.
Which is where I'm at, roughly.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Excellent.
So I think the movie overall was pretty good, and it's like a sequel, and I feel like it does a good job of being a sequel. I feel like the first one was pretty good. This one's pretty good. This one is, I think, almost as good as the first one, which is pretty rare in sequels. So I'm glad they kind of kept up that bar. There are a couple things that mar the experience. Like I mentioned, some of the cons, some scenes are just like, what's going on? But overall, I feel like the movie's pretty good. I feel like this is definitely worth checking out. So I'm going to give this 4 bags of popcorn. I feel like it's definitely worth a watch. If you're into horror movies, I mean, this is a great addition. Definitely not one of the millions of garbage horror movies that they have out there right now. So yeah, check it out.
All right, guys, there you go. From us both here at Movie Pop, a solid 4 out of 5 bags of popcorn from us both for It Chapter 2. If you guys want to see more awesome movie reviews, trailer reactions, make sure to follow us on social media, and you can find all of those links right down below.
And you guys know the drill. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff means so much to us. And of course, thank you so much for watching.